At the beginning of July 2021, a strange one-page memorandum from the Department of State was sent to the website The Black Vault. The document describes a 3 tons cube-shaped satellite object that was discovered in Sudan in 1967. Project Moondust was a covert project by the US Air Force with the aim to recover objects and debris from spacecraft that survived re-entry through the atmosphere back to Earth. But the problem with this object is that it doesn't resemble any known satellite, and no one can explain its origin.
Section 51.
Hi everyone, what's up guys? DOZgeek here again with Section 51. So, before we get started, I want to say big thanks again to all of you for helping the channel to grow and welcome to the new subscribers. These last days were completely crazy with our latest videos that have recorded thousands of views in just a few days. So it means that the content seems to interest and please you. We also broke a record of likes on one of our videos. That never happened before, and it's thanks to you all. Thanks to your sharings and your kindness. It's a huge boost for us to keep this channel alive and also to try to break new records on YouTube. This is an incredible experience that we will try to continue to live together with Section 51. So as usual, please like and share this new video, and of course watch this video until the end. I hope you're well and that you're ready. Have a drink, sit comfortably, turn off the light. Let's start right now. Today we're gonna talk about the website theblackvault.com, where one of its creators, John Greenwald, claims to have received these last days a strange document from the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA. According to him, it was in a batch of UFO files that he received about 2.5 decades ago. This document is a one-page memorandum from the Department of State describing a 3 tons cube-shaped satellite object that was discovered in Sudan. It had no markings, was made of soft metal, said to likely be light aluminium, and made up of oblong cubes measuring 2 inches by 1 inch. They were tightly fastened together and covered by a silky material. According to the memo, there were photographs, but none were found in the DIA files or elsewhere, nor were they indicated to have been attached to the telegram. He says he attempted to match up anything that fit either the weight of 6,000 pounds, around 3 tons, description of being cube-shaped or both. But nothing truly came close. The Soviet Soyuz fit the time frame, but was much heavier at more than 15,000 pounds and looked nothing like a cube. The Soviet Proton satellite also fit the time frame, but was much more heavy at 37,000 pounds and also looked nothing like a cube. So in short, according to the document, it likely has a very terrestrial explanation. But the problem is that there is nothing to be found that fits the time frame, weight, and physical description. Nothing clearly matches with the description. August 17, 1967, a cube-shaped satellite weighing approximately 3 tons was reported discovered around 50 miles from Khartoum. Satellite described as made of soft metal, presumably light aluminium, and oblong cubes measuring 2 inches by 1 inch, tightly fastened together and covered by a silky material. Nationality is unidentified as no inscriptions evident was found on outer surface. The local authorities are said to have, with difficulty, cut samples. According to John Greenwald, There is potentially a perfectly good explanation for the object said to have been found as described by the Department of State. But it could be that the intelligence based on public reporting at the time was wrong. It's possible it is a satellite from a country unknown that has never been declassified or released to the public. It could be a space vehicle that just hasn't been connected to this case yet. Or it could be something else. Here one must pay attention to the term satellite, which is used to describe this object. This term was used a little too quickly to describe in official documents the wreckage of something that was actually of unknown origin. And this is the recurring problem in this period of the 70s, when all the unknown objects falling from the sky were called satellite. Maybe it was simply a disinformation technique to influence the public in reading these reports, by deliberately directing the interpretation of this incident towards something we know, whereas in fact it was clearly an object of unknown origin. It appears that the authorities involved have clearly attempted to divert public attention from these types of incidents for which they had no explanation. It was an official way of burying concrete cases of UFO crash reports. During this time frame, during the Cold War, we were right in the middle of the space race between US and the Soviet Union. A race to get to, not only space, but also the moon. So it would be logical that a lot of space debris, and particularly satellite debris, even spy satellite debris, would crash anywhere on Earth. Any failure from the both sides in space had to come down, and essentially either crash or burn up in its majority. And apparently there were much more failure and space debris coming from Soviet Union's experiments in space. That's why Project Moondust was created. Project Moondust was a covert project by the United States Air Force that existed at the Air Force Missile Development Center at Holloman Air Force Base. The aim of the project was to recover objects and debris from spacecraft that survived re-entry through the atmosphere back to Earth and to exploit the discovery of Soviet hardware when it temporarily fell into American hands. But that doesn't tell us what could be that 6,000 pounds cube-shaped satellite found in the desert in 1967. If this object doesn't match any known American, Russian or other country satellite model, what could it be? It was clearly not a satellite. Maybe it was a flying object of extraterrestrial origin, secretly recovered by the US Department of Defense in order to study these materials. Why did the Black Vault receive this new document now that the US government UFO report is out? This new document makes direct reference to another cube-shaped object, a strange and motionless UFO (UAP) captured on photo by FA-18 pilot above the Atlantic in 2018 and also leaked from the 2018 report issued by the government's UAP task force. This photo, which was shared on a secure network used by the US intelligence community, comes from the 2018 task force report. A military pilot reportedly encountered the object while flying over the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast of the US in 2018 and captured it with his personal cell phone. It's likely that a backseat weapon system operator on an FA-18F Super Hornet took the photo of the object, which was described as inverted and bell-shaped and having ridges or other protrusions along its lateral edges extending toward its base. Pilots who encountered the object described that, unlike a balloon under similar conditions, the object was completely motionless and seemingly unaffected by ambient air currents. Still today, there is no official explanation for this object. Another strange case, including a mysterious cube, was recorded in 2015. By 2015, during a mission in Atlantic Ocean, again, US Navy Lieutenant Graves claimed his pilots encountered bizarre crafts almost every time they flew. One of these objects nearly caused a terrifying mid-air collision. According to Graves, it was basically a cube inside of a sphere, where the points of the cube were touching the outside of the sphere. And there are many other testimonies involving a mysterious cube flying in the sky. So it is officially admitted today that cube-shaped UFOs or UAPs exist. Call them what you want. Mysterious cube-shaped objects, which may be dangerous, and whose origins we don't know at all. Back to the Project Moondust document, these objects appear to have been seen for several decades. Some may have crashed on Earth, and it is possible that US secret agencies already have in their possession some pieces or debris of them. Could these objects have helped military research to secretly develop new technologies or new weapons? What secrets do these cubes contain? What is the technology that allows them to fly at such incredible speeds? What is the origin of these cubes? Who are the pilots of these cubes? What does know the US Department of Defense about them that we don't know? Have other countries already registered cube-shaped UFO reports? Will we ever know the truth? I hope you enjoyed this video. Section 51 is on social networks, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share it, to subscribe to the channel and to support Section 51. I'll be back really soon. Open your eyes, watch the sky, live long and prosper.